Hey guys, today I wanted to do a video for EDS Awareness Month. So I'm actually going to be following one of those little charts. I'll insert a picture of it here. And basically everybody's using that and going on Instagram and following it along the month of May and posting every day for every question. But I thought it'd be better for me, since I don't post that much, to sit down and make a video answering all those questions. That way they're in one place and I could use it for more of an educational standpoint rather than just for my own personal use. The first question is a really good place to start, and that question is, what kind of EDS or what type of EDS do you have? And for me, that is the hypermobility type. The second question is, when did you get diagnosed? I got diagnosed about a little over a year ago now. It took forever though. I'm not gonna just make it seem like I just went out and I got the diagnosis. No, it took me about 5 years of active searching, 45 different specialists. I got diagnosed with EDS, hypermobility EDS, and they checked Bateman criteria on the same time that I went in for my POTS consultation. So I wasn't diagnosed with POTS yet, but I got diagnosed with Ehlers Danlos syndrome right away because it was very severe. The third question is comorbidities, which essentially means, do you have other overlapping conditions? Do you have more than one condition at the same time? So I don't have multiple types of EDS, but I do have the overlapping conditions that seem to go with it, which are mast cell activation syndrome and POTS and suspected gastroparesis, on top of many other things that it causes, such as degenerative disc disease and prolapses and stuff like that. Question number 4, how hypermobile are you? I'm pretty hypermobile, I would definitely say. I cannot take the palms of my hands and touch them to the floor anymore because my back issues are so bad now that my back has been destroyed, and I believe my EDS is at the hands of that. Basically eating away all of my discs and causing a whole bunch of damage, as well as other places in my body. But on the terms of hypermobility, I can definitely do all the crazy things like bring my wrist to my thumb to my wrist and just pray behind my back and all those things. They're not necessarily comfortable to me anymore, but they are possible and they shouldn't be. But I will say one of the weirdest things that makes me so comfortable is to lay with or sit with my knees to my face, and I cannot sit in a chair regularly. I have to sit with my knee at my face and just kind of rest my chin on my knee, and I do this constantly. It's definitely not a good thing and I need to stop doing it. Question number 5, are you stretchy? I would definitely say that I'm a little stretchy, primarily where I lost the weight though, but I mean, I have some stretch, but not in many places. My brother is insanely stretchy. But the thing that I can stretch the most is all of my loose skin, which I feel like is somewhat normal and somewhat not. Question number 6, mobility aids? Yes and no. There was a point in my life where I was really reliant on mobility aids, a wheelchair, a walker, a cane. I had a lot of trouble keeping strength to sit up and to stay up and to use that muscular strength, but I have gotten better. I'm not so reliant on that anymore, but I've also set my limitations higher, so I don't let myself do as much as I was doing then that was causing me to suffer like that. One of the best things that I still use on a daily basis for my EDS and POTS is when taking a shower, I have a stool and I have bars to help with any of the pain that ends up happening from the change in the temperature of the water, and I will never change that. I will constantly use that probably to the day I die. Question number 7, pain management. I actually do not do pain management. I did do physical therapy for a while. I don't do it anymore. I did not find it very useful to me personally. I found myself flaring a lot during physical therapy, and if I was to do exercise, I think I have a better ability to do it at my own pace at home, using those exercises that I've learned for when my body feels like I can, rather than forcing my body to do something on a scheduled routine that just made me flare. I've been offered a whole bunch of different things for pain management. One of them, the idea being that I should go get medical marijuana. Another one being, you know, obvious pain management, such as like naproxen, and I've even was offered Neurontin for pain, anything like that, and I've turned everything down and everything away because medication is a big flare-up for mast cell activation syndrome, and I find that a lot of the time people try to give us more and more medications and it just becomes a jumbled mess and you don't know what is what, and I actually have really bad withdrawals when I stop any medication, period, just because of the way my body is so dependent on what I take. So I try to take less, and my pain management is honestly a heating pad and to wait it out. You just time is everything. We're gonna have days that are more difficult than other days, and that's okay, and that's to be expected. And you know, yes, there's probably a pill that can help you not feel anything. Morphine can help you not feel anything, but at the end of the day, like, I don't want to waste my life away. And if you have to take pain management, like if you do take pills and you have pain management and you feel like you need that, I'm not dissing you for doing that. Everybody is different, so I'm not judging anybody's circumstance. And I just want to say that like very clearly, because what is right for my body and me does not mean that it's the same for you. Number 8. Surgeries. So I've actually not had any surgeries yet. I feel like if I ever need a surgery, it's gonna probably be on my back because it's an emergency. I do not really want surgeries. I think a lot of the time surgeries cause more harm than good. Again, it's a personal opinion, but I'm just, I'm trying to just hang it out on my own and hatch this out. But the thing is, I've never broken a bone actually. So besides just deterioration and muscle, like tissue, like collapsing and connective tissue eating away at itself, I've never actually broken a bone. So I've never needed like a direct surgery. Question number 9, hospital stays. So I've never actually been admitted, mainly because hospitals, they really don't know how to deal with chronic conditions. That's not really what they're for, and it's really sad because that leaves us with no place to go for help. But there's nothing we can do about it, and they're not going to help us. So I've never actually been admitted, but I did go in one time because of my EDS, and I had a reaction to a birth control pill, and it was literally one of the most painful things ever. My whole body locked up and I couldn't even like move my head side to side, and I know part of that was a reaction, but having like a muscular issue did not help. On top of another time where I mentioned I couldn't even sit up. I was like at my grandma's house for 2 weeks and she was literally taking care of me, bathing me, because I couldn't even, I was just a body. I didn't have any use of my body. Question number 10, what is your normal? This question is very interesting because I think a lot of people don't understand that our normal varies day to day. We don't have a normal. There is no normal. There is no regular routine of what we're going to be able to do 1 minute and what we're not going to be able to do the next minute. It's all a dice. It's like you flip a coin. You don't know. Anything can change. Sitting here right now filming, I could just start getting pain. I already have pain. I have pain in my back, Our normal is rolling with things as they come. I feel like a lot of people, they like to have their whole lives planned out and stuff like that, and you can still be one of those people. But at the end of the day, we know how to deal with things like fast, like right as they come to us, because we're used to living in that environment where we never know what's going to happen the next second. So we're always on that edge. So our normal is constantly worrying about, oh, well, what if this happens? And, oh, well, what if I start to get in pain here? And that's just not with EDS. That's like literally with every disorder, every chronic illness. But that is part of the normal. And another part of the normal is constantly having to think for your body instead of your body just naturally taking care of you. Constantly overthinking every single step of your day, from the time you're getting out of bed to the time you're fluffing your sheet to put it on your bed. There's just all these thoughts that run through your mind. And to me, one of the most annoying things is when I put on clothes. It's very, very, very painful now. And I find my joints, like when I went to go put this hoodie on, my shoulder cracked out and it was like subluxing really bad and it hurt, and I was afraid that I was going to break my shoulder. So our normal is constantly worrying about being broken, being in pain, having all these type of reactions, and just things go 0 to 100 really, really, really fast. So that's our normal, constantly waiting for what's coming next, and constantly having to analyze and constantly having to think about things our body naturally should do on their own that everybody else does normally, but us having to overthink every single one of them. Question number 11. What is your flare like? My flares are pretty bad. My flares are like me laying in bed, sobbing my eyes out, not being able to move, feeling like I can barely walk up the stairs, like in pain, not wanting to get up to go to the bathroom, just basically laying there and waiting for it to pass because there's nothing I can do that's gonna help with the pain. I could try a heating pad, I could try this, I could try that, but nothing is really gonna help with the pain but time. And ibuprofen is like, it's a hopeless romantic. Like, you want to take it, you want it to work, you want this relationship to work out so bad, but it's just like, it's a dysfunctional relationship. Sometimes it might give you a little, but it's never going to give you anything. It's toxic. Question number 12, what specialists or types of doctors do you have? So personally, I have nobody right now, like really managing my care, really actually who seems to really care about my care. There was a couple, suggestions and stuff like that, but continuing physical therapy every single day or multiple times a week for the rest of your life, that's just it's not reality. It's impossible to actually do that. One, financially, and two, just, do you want to spend your whole life going through all these flares and all this pain for something that's just not working? And it depends. Like, if it really is working for you and it's changed your life and you need to keep up with it, do it. But if it's not working for you after you've given it a long period of time and a long shot, then maybe it's not worth the money, and you have to look at it from those realistic standpoints. Nobody's currently managing my EDS care by itself. I have multiple doctors that know about my EDS that also take care of other issues, like my mast cell doctor and my cardiologist and stuff like that. But usually either genetics or rheumatology, so they say, is supposed to take care of it, but I've been to both a rheumatologist and a geneticist, and both one of them point fingers at each other like, no, you should take care of me, no, you should take care, and it's just pathetic. So honestly, it's pathetic, and nobody is, to answer the question. Question number 13, your funniest EDS story. I can hear my brother. I gotta say, none of them are really that funny, but everybody in my life thinks it's weird that I can put my foot up, like, behind my head, both my feet. I can put both my feet behind my head and make a heart. So everybody thinks that's pretty odd, and all the clicking sounds that I make, like, everybody's like afraid to hug me or touch me or go near me, and they're like, ew. Question number 14, your worst doctor experience. So I have a lot of those. But I'm gonna direct it towards EDS, and I haven't had a lot of appointments for EDS. I guess my worst doctor's experience, I gotta say, go hand in hand with two doctors, because I went to a connective tissue rheumatologist, and she literally just was like, nothing's wrong with you, and was a complete about it, and we traveled a very long time to see that doctor. And my dad was very upset. Like, he almost cried, and he was like confident that they were gonna come back with something there, and they didn't. And there was no suggestions from her, and that was like pretty heartbreaking. So that was one of the worst. But the worst, in my opinion, was a geneticist who actually ran my EDS testing. So if you don't know, there's 13 types of EDS. Yeah, I believe 13, and most of them are genetic. There's only one that's not genetic, and being genetic means that there's a genetic mutation marker that they can actually test for. So they can take, they take a DNA test and they run it through, and if it comes back positive with one of them, it will tell you which one it is. And I went to do that test, and I was already diagnosed with EDS. I already had all the testing for hypermobile EDS, and the signs pointed, yes, you have hypermobile EDS, you have it. It was already diagnosed. And this doctor was like, well, you don't really have EDS. I'm like, well, what do you mean I don't have EDS? I'm already diagnosed with EDS. And she's like, well, you're not that hypermobile. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I literally fail everything on this thing. I guess it would be pass. I pass everything on that thing because they're only looking for the wrongs, you know? So, but it's ridiculous. And it was terrible. Question number 15, your best doctor experience. I guess the first doctor, which it was my cardiologist, who just looked at me and immediately like knew, like, he was like, this is terrible. He's like, you know, this is the worst I've ever seen, kind of thing. And he just like, he felt my legs and he was just like, there's literally no muscle mass. Like, you're scaring me. And although it was like really sad, at the same time, it was the first time ever after like 5 years and like 40 different doctors for a doctor to sit down and look at me and be like, yeah, something's not right with you. And I felt like somebody actually listened to me and like heard what I was saying. And because of that reason, it was the first time that I finally felt like I had justification for what I was going through. Like somebody finally was hearing me and believing me, and it was one of the best feelings ever. It's heart medicine time. I gotta take that. 5:36. Let's crack open the water. Question number 16, what is your support system like? My support system is pretty small, but it's, you know, it's close. I have my dad that I can talk to if something's going wrong. I have my grandma I can talk to if something is going wrong. And in terms of my medical team, it's my mast cell doctor, so my allergist/immunologist, and it is also my cardiologist. So it's a small team, but it is a team, and it's better than nothing. My mast cell doctor particularly really cares, and he's an amazing guy, and he is one person who has just such a large impact on my life and such like a voice. So for that reason, I would say that everybody combined, it's a pretty good support system, and it's way better than the one I had before I was diagnosed. So means a lot. Question number 17. Do you think EDS is expensive? Absolutely. I think it's expensive. I think it's expensive if you follow the orders that everybody gives you. And because at the end of the day, there's endless amounts of medication that a doctor can try to put you on for you to try, or there's a whole bunch of types of physical therapy that you could do, or you could go to a homeopathic route and you could do like or kinesiologist, and you could do all these different things for your EDS. But also it's expensive because it causes other problems. It causes you to then have to, you know, depending on what type it is, if it's a vascular type, well, now you have to like spend all your days in cardiology constantly getting tested, and it depends on what it attacks, but it is so expensive because not only do you have to have the medication and the treatment to obtain it, but then you're also talking about a wheelchair, all these mobility aids, things that aren't covered by the insurance, and then on top of it, all the issues that it causes. So surgeries, back surgery, joint surgery, all those appointments, all those different specialists that you then have to see because it's attacking different areas of your body. So yes, it's expensive. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's really hard, especially when it ruins your whole life. Question number 18. Do you consider yourself disabled? Yes, absolutely. I do not think that I'm a normal person. I am definitely disabled. I'm handicapped permanently for the rest of my life because I might not look disabled, but I'm definitely disabled. I need that extra help. You know, it's painful. It's very painful to do a lot of things, and I'm not just disabled because of my EDS, but many other things. And, you know, it causes you to be in a lot of pain all the time. You're not able to do what you used to do. You know, I can't even keep up sometimes with the ladies at the senior citizens home. And no, I'm not joking or making fun of them. I'm just saying, like, this is very true. Like, sometimes they have more energy than I do. Sometimes I'm in more pain than them. And you know, that really goes to show you it takes a big toll on your body. And so yeah, I consider myself disabled. Question number 19, have you ever experienced ableism? And the answer to that would be absolutely. There have been buildings that I've tried to get into that don't have handicap accessible things, but also people that discriminate you. They look at you, you know, I'll get out of the car and I'll walk to the door of like a Walmart and I have a handicap sticker and I parked in handicap and I'm young and I don't look sick, and I get like all these looks, and people, I know a lot of people that people have actually said things to them, and it's just awful. So yeah, I've experienced it. I continue to experience it. I experience it probably on a daily basis from people that look at me and you're like, yeah, right, like there's nothing wrong with you. Or and even doctors, they do it too. It's all in your head, you know, and so it's sad. But yeah. Question number 20, the worst part of EDS. I would say the worst part of EDS is all the things that it takes away from you. Just like any other chronic illness, yes, the pain is terrible. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. But the worst parts of having chronic illness in general, not just EDS alone, but it's having to mourn the life that you once had, having to give up the things that you enjoyed doing before you started to feel this way and before it took this impact on your life. I've always had this, and I've always had a lot of these issues, but they weren't as bad and they progressed as I aged. So, but yeah, it's the worst part about having it is having to mourn the life you had before and not being able to do those things anymore, having to set limitations and boundaries on yourself, especially when you're young and everybody around you is living their life so fast and so carelessly, and you're sitting there and you're stuck in the moment where you are, and you can't do that. And that's one of the worst parts. And the next worst part is just people not even believing what you're saying, like everybody making you out to seem like you're absolutely insane and that like what you're saying isn't valid, and it makes you feel completely worthless. So those are the worst parts. Almost the mental corruption that it causes you is way worse than the physical pain, because it's just a weight that you have to constantly carry on your shoulders, even when you aren't in as much pain as one moment like then the next, you know. Question number 21, one thing EDS has taken away from you. It has taken away my ability to kind of be as active as I want to be. I can't work out. I've lost all this weight and I have a whole new body and I want to fix it, and I can't because the pain I'm in and the energy I don't have, and it's taken away a lot of relationships for me and a lot of things that could be and a lot of things that used to be. And those things could be anything from relationships to hanging out with your family or seeing your family or missing important things, important events, and it's sad, but it's taken away a lot of things. Question number 22, one thing that EDS has given you. One thing that EDS has given me is mental strength, the ability to be able to discuss things and open up and learn. It's given me way more than one thing. It's given me the ability to have a voice, to find out, like, to advocate for myself and other people, and to constantly speak out about that and, you know, give me all this knowledge, and it's taught me a lot. And although it's a gift and a curse, what I'm going through, I now have the ability to help other people going through the same thing, and that is so important. So it has given me the ability to help other people, and it has given me the ability to create a platform where I can branch out and teach somebody something new, and that's the best part. Me being able to take what I've been through and help other people. So yeah, that's been a really cool thing that it's given me. Question number 23. What is something you wish everyone understood? I wish everybody understood that everything's unexpected, and just because I could do something one day doesn't mean I can do it the next day, and that it kind of rolls like a dice. And I wish people understood that, and I wish people understood that just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And another thing, this is kind of funny, but just because you have pain in your foot, your leg, your hand for a second does not mean you understand what I'm going through, and that's to anything. Just because you have a stomach ache doesn't mean you get it. Just because you have a headache doesn't mean you get it. You know, it's like that kind of thing. Just because you've experienced pain doesn't mean you understand what I'm going through, because I'm going to tell you what, like, it's probably not the same. Question number 24. If you could rid yourself of one EDS symptom, what would it be? Definitely muscle pain. 100% muscle pain. I can't stand it. It's the worst. I have such weak muscle. and the pain that I get from it is just absolutely just terrible. Question number 25, one person you're grateful for. I'm grateful for everybody who watches me and lets me keep going, but on top of that, I would definitely say my mast cell doctor. Like I said, he's been great at managing that care, and although he's not for Ehlers Danlos specifically, he offers me a lot, and he's very intelligent, and he's helped me a lot. Question number 26, the scariest part of your future with EDS. I guess the scariest part is that it's unpredictable, and the scariest part is coming to terms with the fact that it'll probably never get better, and I don't want to be the one just like, well, it's never gonna get better, whatever, because you don't know. You know, there's things that you might not be able to do at this moment. Years down the line, you might be able to do it. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know if they will make a pill to make everything go away. I doubt it, but you never know. And the scariest part about my future is I don't know how I'm going to be able to financially live. I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to work. And I don't know how I'll ever be able to keep any commitment in my life because I'm constantly revolving around something that I cannot control. And that is the scariest, absolutely most traumatizing thing because I never know where I'm going to be, and I never know if I'm going to ever have a sense of stability in my future because of what I'm going through now. Question number 27, what are your health goals? I feel like it's completely unrealistic to have health goals where we're at. I mean, there's things that, of course, it'd be great to achieve, but I never want to put the pressure on myself of having these goals in my head or something that I feel like I desperately need to achieve. Because my health goals are honestly just to remain managed and have good days in a row and then have some bad days because that's normal. That's what's normal. I will never sit here and constantly hope for something that's not going to be realistic because then if it never happens, I will have got myself so high up and all my emotions so high up, and then, the reality of it it will hurt. So I guess my health goals are just to maintain managed. I don't want to say treated. I just want to say I want everything to be manageable. The pain I be in to be manageable and not excruciating. And my health goals are that this doesn't get any worse and that it stays where it's at right now. Question number 28, have you ever met someone with EDS in person? The answer is no, but my brother does show active signs that he has EDS as well, so I definitely suspect it there, and I think he does. Question number 29, if there was a cure, would you take it? Yes, I would take it. At this point, you have already done so much. It would have to really be a cure. It wouldn't not just a treatment option. But if there was a cure, I would take it. And because I've already gained so much, I've gained the mental strength, I've gained the knowledge, and I would be ready for it to be all gone. There would be one less problem on my plate because I still have more problems. So just if the EDS was cured, I'd still have the other things, and it would just make things a little bit easier. Question number 30, how do you make your invisible illness visible? And the answer to this question is you can talk about it. Don't feel ashamed to talk about it. Talk about it as much as you want, because the more you talk about it, the more everybody's going to be like, okay, maybe there is something going on. You have to advocate for yourself. So make your illness visible by advocating for yourself. You don't have to sit in a wheelchair to make your invisible illness visible. Use your words and speak your heart out and just raise awareness. Raising awareness helps make your illness visible. And that leads us to our last question, which is question number 31, which is, what does awareness mean to you? And what awareness means to me is people coming together as a community, people openly discussing what they're going through with each other, people giving each other love and support, and saying, I go through that too, or I've had that happen too. Sharing the love amongst the community and really just helping everybody. Spreading awareness is helping everybody. And also letting out intellectual, factual information about what's going on to the general public, or just, regular normal people that and making it so maybe they come to terms with that, because the more we talk about it and the more we discuss it, the more people are going to know about it, and the more people are going to be diagnosed, and then it's going to become more common, and the more common it becomes, the closer we are to a cure, or the closer we are to knowing the direct reason why. And that is really, really important to us. So I'm going to continue, probably to the day I die, spreading awareness about it, and always making sure that I never live it down. I will never live it down. It's something that I will carry with me through my entire life. It's not going to go away, and that's the thing with the chronic illnesses. They'll never go away. You can learn to manage them. You're never going to be able to fully treat them, and that's the hard part. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I thought that this would be a good way to give out more information, because I've had a lot of people ask me to make videos about EDS, and those are going to come, but with time I thought this would be a really kind of simple way to answer a lot of questions at one time, and also spread awareness about what I go through personally, and it would just be overall a really great thing for Awareness Month. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.